We all face challenges in our lives. The trick is figuring out how to conquer them, of course. Today's Candice Bergen found someone we can all learn from, a woman who doesn't know the meaning of the word impossible. Candice, welcome back. I'm looking forward to this story.
Thank you, Katie. It's great to see you. This is such an inspirational story. Kelly Perkins is a heart transplant recipient. You might think that that would limit her activities, even force her to forego some dreams. But instead, Kelly pushes herself to new heights, recently climbing to the top of the tallest mountain in Africa, Kilimanjaro.
That was great. That was just a dream come true. To think that I was even attempting it was huge in itself. I mean, getting the top was just a bonus.
An incredible accomplishment for anyone. Remarkable for Kelly Perkins, the first known heart transplant recipient to have successfully climbed one of the world's 7 summits. Joined by her husband Craig, friends, and a documentary film crew, 40-year-old Kelly braved extreme conditions and harsh terrain during the 7-day, 45-mile ascent. But she faced unique obstacles.
Where a normal person would go out and their heart would gradually increase as their exercise increased. Mine doesn't.
9 years ago, Kelly's heart, attacked by an unknown virus, was failing. A cardiac test showed her heart was beating 4 times its normal pace. Your identity was that of an athletic, dynamic, independent young woman, and suddenly, overnight, you were transformed into an invalid.
Right. Oh, yeah. I went from running, traveling, doing everything that we did to having my mother bathe me. And Craig carrying me up the stairs at night to go to bed because it was too much for me to take on.
In 1995, just 3 years after her diagnosis, Kelly's heart gave out. She was rushed to UCLA Medical Center for a transplant. After the operation, Kelly was determined to regain her active lifestyle. Was it frightening when the first days when you were trying that and taking your first steps?
You have this vision that your heart is just being hung by a few little stitches, and you're afraid of any bumps, you know, driving or walking. I remember stepping off of a curb and thinking, oh my gosh, I hope my heart's not loose.
An avid mountain climber before her heart failed, Kelly pushed herself during long walks, regaining strength for the mountains to come. Remarkably, just 10 months after her transplant, she was tackling Yosemite's Half Dome, a 17-mile hike that ascends 4,700 vertical feet.
Woo, doggy. This is almost to the top of Half Dome.
When you announced your projects to your doctors in the beginning, did they go nuts?
I told them we're going to take on this mountain, and he said, okay, no big deal. And then I came back and he said, how high was that?
In July 1998, another challenge, Japan's tallest peak, Mount Fuji. This summit proved symbolic in a way Kelly never imagined. Hearing about the Fuji climb, the daughter of Kelly's heart donor had contacted Craig and made this startling request.
Would it be okay if I sent my mother's ashes out to you that you could take with you to the top of Mount Fuji and release her ashes when you summit?
That's when it became my heart, because I felt the family was completely letting go and letting us take on that act, if you will, of releasing the ashes. It was just so clear in my mind that they felt good about their decision.
Ready to go up Kilimanjaro?
And just 3 months ago, Kelly and Craig set their sights on Kilimanjaro, more than 19,000 feet above the African plain, the continent where the first heart transplant was performed in 1967. This, their most grueling climb.
That was the hardest thing. Susan said it was even worse than childbirth. It was worse than a transplant.
Along the way, Craig struggled to shield Kelly from the 50-mile-an-hour winds and temperatures that plunged to minus 20 degrees. Exhausted, he could go no further and was forced to turn back just below the summit.
At that point, where she was able to go on beyond my capabilities and do something which was the old Kelly again. And that to me is a reward that is very warm in my heart.
It's sweet.
More than you expected a marriage would be,
I know.
Kelly requires an extensive medical exam annually, and she continues to amaze her doctors.
I think Kelly's accomplishment is truly landmark. She has set the bar extremely high for other transplant patients, but more important, she's a role model.
I don't know that there are many heart recipients who've lived life as fully as you have.
To waste a good day, it just is not going to happen. I mean, I'm going to find some pleasure in that day. And I may have grumpy days, I'm human, but I will find a way to get a little treat in there somewhere, you know, to make the day good.
She's really an exceptional woman, and they're such a remarkable couple. In fact, producers are hoping to turn their story into some kind of feature film.
They really are, and they're so attractive and wonderful, and also the family of the donor. I mean, they're pretty fantastic, too. Where does Kelly get all her drive to push herself so hard?
I think initially it was self-image, but now, just as importantly, it's to draw attention to the tremendous need for organ donors. There are about 80,000 people in the United States that need transplants, but there are so few donors, so she's hoping this will encourage people to fill out their donor cards.
Well, I hope it will, because it really is so important, and look what you can help people like Kelly. I mean, that's reason enough to sign that card. Candice, thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie,
for bringing us her story, their story. If you want more information about Kelly and her husband and organ donation, you can log on to our website. That's today.msnbc.com. And we'll be back in a moment. This is Today on NBC.